Hey, girlfriend, how's it going? See, I love being on time. It's important to me. So I'm opening. I was second, Amy. Like, technically, I was second, but I'll give it to you. How are you guys? Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm having a good weekend. It's been awesome. Once I get home, I'm going to fire up the barbecue and cook some food. Katie. Hey, Paris. Hey, Hope. Hey, sweet panda. How are you? Gonna have smoke. Hey, traveler. Hey, at me. Oh, good. Because she's not pregnant. Ashley Reiner, you're not pregnant. And you fucking know it. Right. 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 Yes. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Yes, Paris. Everybody come on. Make it make fucking sense. Where was the withdrawal? First off, where was all that? She even admitted the other day, right, that she's been clean since December, blah, blah, blah. And then within a month, she was pregnant. Bullshit. Bullshit. She's just pushing out. Like, you know what? I could do the same thing with my body. I could push it out and look pregnant. God damn. God fucking damn. You guys need to make this make sense. She wants to get clout for sure. 1000%. And not only that, she's trying to milk some sort of mom talk or whatever TikTok stuff. For what? She's trying to trap a man. And we're going to go over a few text messages that she sent to somebody. Okay? See, when you have integrity, like I do, many of you do, we all do, that's why we all love each other and get along so well like a family, is because that we know to do the right thing all the time, right? And yeah, maybe we have slip ups and shit like that, whatever happens. But the difference is she's one way in text messages to people that she's quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes, trusted, right? And then decides and thinks it's a good idea to sit around and trust somebody who isn't very trustworthy. So we're gonna talk about this, okay, guys? We're gonna talk about text messages that the Fenty Fairy has sent. Uh, okay, so let's just do the text messages. So okay, I gotta go backwards. We're gonna tell a bit of a story here, okay? And we're gonna talk about what Fenty Fairy really thinks about certain people. And I'm gonna change names. Okay, I'm not gonna use names. I'm just gonna use Fenty Fairy and stuff like that. So, all right. Okay, so this is around. When would this be around? January. January. What are we in now? May. January. I'm gonna read you the Fenty Fairies part, and then I gotta name the second person without naming the second person. So I'll use. I'm gonna say Snow White. Snow White. Okay, so this is a conversation between the Fenty Fairy and Snow White. Fenty Fairy, I won't lie. I honestly believed that perhaps you and Blank had decided to work together and take her down. Honestly, what better explanation for how this went down than it was a plan? And it would have been a badass as F plan too. Then I kind of realized I think Blank wants you quieted on all she knows while she gains info and gets into where she believes you'll accept whatever has happened is past and take her back. Snow White, nope, I will never speak to Blank again. Blah blah blah. Fenty Fairy says, honestly, I signed saying that I wasn't to show that to anyone, but I was confused. I couldn't figure out what she told me and sent the pic, telling her to delete it. Fun fact, when Fenty Fairy Godmother was setting up Amy, she sent me a photo with dozens of pills in it. Benzos from the kids' seizure meds, she asked. Uh, Next text. Good morning and Happy New Year. I do believe I recall you telling me that if I could find the picture the Fenty Fairy Godmother had sent me showing she had indeed charged back the Christmas presents sent to Wit and Hutch, you wanted them. Is this correct? Yes. Thanks, and you're welcome. Fenty Fairy and Snow White. Snow White being just a random person that had a conversation with the Fenty Fairy. Okay? Fenty Fairy Godmother, everyone knows who that is. Okay. The notification lists the toys. One of them was a tether toy that Hutch said he had a duplicate of already and was going to give his brother's baby. Fairy Fenty Fairy Godmother got pissed. That was the only toy of hers they showed and did this. Uh, oh, and a bonus. I have the messages where she begged Savage Heart for the Cash App money she sent back, too. Snow White says Savage is trash and has so much money but couldn't send it back. Fenty Fairy says Fenty Fairy Godmother said that same thing about it. Then when it did come back, she cash apped it right back to them. Still, so I'm not sure why the issue existed. Question. And no, I'm not trying to egg anything on or shame or whatnot. This is an honest to God, I've never had a script in this format question. I have a pic Fenty Fairy Godmother sent me of her subs Phil from about this time last year. Is there something on it that is able to tell you for sure it's a real script? Mine always was strips they put in a large pill bottle. And I know it can be different, but it seems weird. Maybe I never saw this kind before. Snow White says, I think they used to be able to put them in the boxes, but I'm not sure. Uh, yeah, I think they used to blah blah blah, but now it's in bottles. And now the Fenty Fairy says, so I'm guessing this is likely a legal script that she was using at one point then. I've wondered before if she didn't make it up to cover current use, especially because she's already fallen asleep on the phone and claimed to wet herself by Christmas last year. She's wrong in the voice message. Text message have to be corroborated by either party sending them because of blah blah blah. Ability to fake them. She talks about the text that I had because Stormy was your friend and we were trying to get Fenty Fairy Godmother away from you because she's disgusting and had bad intentions, which is very true. The Fenty Fairy says, I know she's wrong. See, she sits and says how stupid I am and how I couldn't handle court. I helped you and you wouldn't have had anything without me. I'm pretty sure you heard me read the letter I, in quotations, wrote to the courts when I got Dante's case moved. She had no part. I wrote the court docs this time too. Fenty Fairy Godmother wrote me a letter one time last year, and I never sent it because it was so misspelled and badly worded. She doesn't know so much as she thinks she does. To be true, to be totally honest, I am pretty sure I have a good idea of how the messages are being posted, and I'm happy as AF. Show the world what a bitch she is. Um, it's sad when even you realized I was better off without her, and not just because of Kid Toucher's record either. And then someone said, "Yeah, she's." Snow White said, "Yeah, she's like gross on her own, piece of shit on her own." And then Fenty Fairy says, "For sure, Stormy turned out to be too, but now I stick to a burn me twice limit and just don't let people close so they can all be as shitty as they want to be." Hey guys. And then Snow White says, "Ha ha, Becky scam money from this community and acts like nothing." Fenty Fairy says, yes, she was telling Fenty Fairy Godmother, thank you for the $500, and everyone thought it was a joke. Apparently, it wasn't. Then they say, I don't doubt it. Fenty Fairy Godmother buys her friends. Then Fenty Fairy says, yes, she does. I don't think she has the money for it either. Then Snow White says, nope, not at all. If she did, she would have a lawyer. I heard she went on a rant, then laughed my fucking ass off, blah, blah, blah. And then Fenty Fairy says, I know. I was watching it. This, I know. I was watching it. Actually, when I was contacted and told that Fenty Fairy Godmother had basically gone live, trashed off her ass, and was bragging about giving violations all my texts. She's been on about you and I forever, and I can only say it's got to be a guilty conscience. Don't they? Okay, and then there's a bunch of nonsense. So this is what Fenty Fairy says. I tried to explain that to her. Oh, so someone had mentioned, like, has no one taught the Fenty Fairy Godmother how to pick a better, like, thumbnail for your stuff? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no creativity there. And then the Fenty Fairy says, I tried to explain that to her so effing bad, and she literally tried to say that it was public because Brit called you on blah de blah, and I'm just like, oh my god, I know. It's almost as bad as her Christmas pic with Fenty Fairy Godfather last year. Watch his eyes. This is this is her best this is her best friend who she wants to be the godmother of her baby. Like, make this fucking make sense. I don't understand. It's okay, so you know who the Fenty Fairy is? And the Fenty Fairy Godmother. Well, this is text messages between the Fenty Fairy and someone else about the Fenty Fairy Godmother. If you don't know, I'm sorry, but I don't have time to explain. Melissa. So okay, so even watch his eyes. All right, then Fenty Fairy says, "I'm looking now," and then the Snow White character, who has really is irrelevant in all of this. I'm just trying to explain this as from the perspective of the Fenty Fairy and what she really truly thinks about the Fenty Fairy Godmother, right? Well, They are now, but this was in January. So I'm just confused. Like, it's just confusing. So, and then they were talking about Reddit. And so they're like, I'm not on Reddit. And then Fenty Fairy says, I'm not either. She's showing the ones that are being put up there. I don't even care anymore. Nothing is going to hurt me, so why hide? And then this person, Snow White, says, weird. Why is she pushing the issue about them being friends? And then Fenty Fairy says to try to undermine some court bullshit that she's got going on. And then Fenty Fairy says, the saddest part is I would be done. Stop posting me, stop lying about me, stop obsessing. Like, it's not hard, not at all. Let me be if you don't like me so much. This person says, I think everyone's just tired of the bullshit. Then Fenty Fairy says, seems to be, but for the ones that they won't stop, they're the worst. Like, there's still pushes for me. What does that mean? Like, when you contact people's dead relatives because you don't like me? Okay. Then she says, this is Fenty Fairy saying about Fenty Fairy godmother claimed the leave was done while she got investigated. Oh, this was about the CPS call. But they didn't find anything. I'm going to be digging through my own stashes because I have so much proof in so many ways on so many people that I bet I can help end both their campaigns for good just off what I have. Wow. And you want this person to be your godmother of your fake fentanyl baby? Like, how does any of this make any sense? I don't get it. So, and then there's a bit of banter here about someone named Becky. And then it says that was Fenty Fairy Godmother's plan. Fenty Fairy Godmother and blank wanted Sage to come to court with me because blank said that would mean you couldn't speak at all and would have to leave the call. I believe you on that. I know how you are with and about kids. Like, this woman has so many court cases with so many fucking, oh my God. But you guys understand what I'm saying here? Like, how do you guys have people in your life who act like this and then turn around like 2 or 3 months later and be like, hey, I want to trust you with my kid for like the rest of its life if something happens to me? Oh, it's crazy. Okay, so then it goes on. Um, something me because blank said that would mean, okay, hold on. Then it says you are the only one. Okay, hold on. I gotta be careful what I say here. This one person says they blame me for everything. And then Fenty Fairy says, yes, you did, and I still appreciate that you were grown enough to do so. Then Fenty Fairy says, I know you didn't. I don't believe whatsoever that the kids were in any way bothered over the summer. Like, even if calls were made, they didn't do anything but check in and leave. Fenty Fairy. Well, right? Right, exactly. Um, talking about some other stuff about the Fenty Fairy godmother. Fenty Fairy says, I remember that. Says here, and the Fenty Fairy godfather exclamation. Fenty Fairy godmother met me begging for her info. um, and then Snow White is kind of going on about things like, in a roundabout way, being accused of doing things that never existed, similar to me. Like, I've been accused of things that I never did. Show me where I did it because I never did it. So then Fenty Fairy says, in some ways it would make sense keeping enemies closer, but this is insane. I had no info and still am not sure how Fenty Fairy Godmother got to be chatting with her. That's weird as F to me. AF to me. And then the Fenty Fairy says, I have videos she was making on me too. Then she went private and kept it to comments too. I know it's scary to come clean, but it does feel so good when it's done. Well, you haven't come clean, woman. What the fuck are you talking about? And then Snow White's like, I'm not the only person that she's done it to, but it like fucking over many people. It's hilarious. Da, 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 da. And then Fenty Fairy says, I bet there's more too. I saw how she turned on people just because someone else did. I'm counting the days myself. I have no idea what the Reddit is. Not one clue. And then this person's like, speaking on, emailing jobs, like somebody emailed my husband's job. He emailed my husband. They call the police. They try to get me in court in America, and I live in Canada. Like all this bizarre bananas. It's bananas. Completely bananas. I'm just showing the back end of it, guys. The true feelings. When the Fenty Fairy doesn't realize that somebody's watching her, or that these harsh words that she's speaking on the Fenty Fairy Godmother and the Fenty Fairy Godfather, right? It's kind of weird and it's bananas. It's not normal behavior. It really isn't. Okay? It isn't. Melissa, you are correct. How do you wake up in the morning and you've got dirty fingernails? If you're like, oh, I have to go have a shower before bed. Like, come on, man. Okay, so and then and then she's like, oh, I remember that, Fenty Fairy. Fenty Fairy says, oh wait, hold on, it's a duplicate. Fenty Fairy says, I think that's why she's doing what she's doing now, to be totally honest. She's very cunning and wouldn't be continuing to feed info to someone when it's obvious that it's still getting out. Snow White says, there's a difference, and there is a big difference, right, between the things that the Fenty Fairy Godmother has been doing and the rest of us have done nothing even remotely close to any of it. Fenty Fairy says, and she knows she didn't apologize like she claimed. She swore she apologized to me and I ignored her, and that's not true. Snow White's just going on about, people trying to lessen her credibility, um, and stuff like that. And then Fenty Fairy says, I agree. This whole thing is insane and hard to believe. It's adult women doing it all sometimes. Okay, well, Fenty Fairy, you gave the Fenty Fairy Godmother my daughter's email address. And then weirdly enough, she got an email from this person that you told me was the Fenty Fairy Godmother, that you had no idea she was gonna do that. Oh my god, and then she did it. Oh, you felt so bad. Bullshit. So we are grown women. See, I would never do that to anybody, nor their children, their husbands, their schools, their soccer clubs, their fucking dead relatives, family members. Like, I wouldn't do that. No. So when you say that, like when you say things like it's hard to believe it's adult women doing it, well, that's what we say about you. The two of you, right? You're grown women acting like this, trying to get everybody's shit banned, shut down, shut up, copyright strike, fuck whatever it takes. Because so what? You can get the last word every single fucking time. Guess what? I'm really good at that game. I should get a gold medal for it, to be quite honest with you. But hey, let's continue. I don't have a lot of time here. Okay, and oh, this is a doozy. This is a couple paragraphs from the Fenty Fairy. Honestly, I signed saying that I wasn't to show that to anyone, but I was confused. Well, really, is it confusion, or is your brain just fucked up because of all the cesspool of dope that's in there? I couldn't figure out what she told me and sent the pic, telling her to delete it. Fun fact, when Fenty Fairy Godmother was setting up blah blah blah, she sent me a photo with dozens of blah 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 blah. Okay, seizure meds. She asked me to delete it. I did, never thought twice. I'm honestly am invested. I know I did something dirty. I know her husband's actions are what unalived that man. And I suspect that blank is behind even more than I know. Oh, so she's probably talking about, you know, Sage. I know she was very much involved in the 5150 promotion, trying to scare up donations and support, but I can't find what I have, and it's irritating me. Hey, Margaret. You can't hear anything. What do you mean? You can't hear me? Can you hear me? What if I should put it through my car? Let's see. You can hear me? All right. See you later. No problem then. So the Fenty Fairy says, yep, I called out the text being shared, but said no names except for violations. Well, I did this and went about my day. She blew up and I didn't care. After I didn't respond to her threatening AF voice messages, she went live and proceeded to spend the entirety of it saying it wasn't her, but also who believes I only sent it to the Fenty Fairy Godmother. But also, if she did share it, she's not so bad because she meant well. But also, how dare I accuse her in blank? But also, I'm a liar. You get the drift. It switched around about 100 times. Then the Snow White character just kind of goes on about some video being tagged in a photo, being someone being guilty about something because she shared something. And then the Fenty Fairy says, I won't lie. I honestly believe that perhaps you and Blank had decided to work together to take her down. Honestly, what better? Blah, blah, blah. It got cut off there. Oh, okay. Sorry. And then Fenty Fairy says, whoa, whoa, whoa. She finally admitted that she actually sent the text like I knew she did. And after all those lies and antics, typical. Let me read this and I'll weigh in. And then the Snow White character was just kind of like, kind of agreeing with the comment. It was a good comment. There being no involvement with the Reddit, blah, blah, blah. Then Fenty Fairy says, okay, so are you at all aware of what happened with the Fenty Fairy Godmother and I that led to this? Like even the Cliff Notes version. And then this person says, yes. Apparently, the Fenty Fairy Godmother is the violations account on some fucking Reddit. Um, and then, yeah, yep. Here we go. Ready? This is Fenty Fairy saying this. That's what bothers me. I'm not sure all of them do. If I can be flat out honest at the risk of sounding like a bitch, not all of these people are very smart. That I see quite a few themselves who tell stories, small as they may be, but that make themselves look bigger and badder. It's a vicious and dangerous cycle. I know she didn't. Stormy and I would rarely phone chat, very rare. Oh, it's so hard to read this stuff. It's a vicious and a dangerous cycle. I know she didn't. Stormy and I very rarely phone chatted, and when we did, it wasn't much to be of interest. Fenty Fairy Godmother filmed the court, not me. I did film the clip of Denise and never intended that for anything or anyone but my guys. Period. Now I have lost that video and all these people who have it disappeared. Interesting but unrelated. I will happily claim what I have done, but believe me when I say Fenty Fairy Godmother was nowhere near me when I did in fact record a Zoom hearing, and I have never done so again. Fenty Fairy Godmother, on the other hand, has full recordings of every hearing. Like, that's weird. You're not allowed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. Not supposed to do that. She even says that. Fenty Fairy Godmother. This is January. The pic Fenty Fairy Godmother started passing back around is blowing up everywhere. Are these people really that blind? And someone writes, people are crazy. I've learned that. And then the Fenty Fairy says, ma'am, can you speak a moment? It's of the absolute utmost importance. But if it wouldn't be of assistance in the removal, I don't want to waste your time. I have hardcore evidence. Fenty Fairy Godmother is violations. And then the Snow White character says, I'm busy. I cannot. Then the Fenty Fairy says, it worked out. You just need a few pics. I think you will appreciate this. So this was, yeah, strange, right? And then this Snow White character's like, she's like a POS. Fenty Fairy's like, she really is. And then the Snow White character's like, oh, she's probably super mad at you. Then the Fenty Fairy says, I wish I knew why she was. And then they're kind of talking back and forth about this violations account on Reddit, I guess. Fenty Fairy says, me too. She's the only one who made sense, and she knows stuff that was said privately with that account. And then Snow White character's like, well, nothing she ever says makes any sense, so the deflection is big. Fenty Fairy's like, right, I'm dying. And then, of course, we're always like, how embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, so embarrassing, so embarrassing. Fenty Fairy says, I will say this, at least the ones she's calling out weren't putting themselves on blast while they did their thing. Fenty Fairy says, right before the first blow up, she texts me crying about having urinated herself because she was high on weed. I let it go. She wants to shame me. Okay, tit for tat. Of course, laughing emojis. Then Fenty Fairy says she really does. I released our Cash App history too, roughly $600 of history. Is that the Fenty Fairy Godmother assisting and enabling the habit of the Fenty Fairy with her, Fenty Fairy dust? Because that's like, don't you have kids? You know? Sorry, is it just me? Okay, I will. I will. I will. I will. I will for sure. Like, do you know what I mean? Is it just me? It's fucking crazy. And then the Snow White character is like, holy fuck, really? Laugh, like, heart laugh emoji. And then Fenty Fairy says, I'm having a grand old time picking and choosing what to let out and watching her scramble to match it. And then the Snow White character is kind of like, That's why people have been trying to get them separated and whatever. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you two be the best of friends and fake a whole ass fentanyl baby with fake daddies and snowmen. I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to point out that this behavior is indicative of something that doesn't warrant a close knit relationship with somebody who is gonna like say yes to being somebody's, you know. And then Fenty Fairy says, I'm having a grand old. Okay, sorry, I read that already. And then the Fenty Fairy says, luckily for her, I caught myself and stopped. Now she just looks double a fool. Fuck. This is January 22nd. Hey, this is Fenty Fairy. Yeah, they do Black Dove. Hell fucking yeah. Hey, this is Fenty Fairy. Hey, I know this is kind of random, and if you don't want to answer or can't answer, I totally understand. But could you tell me if you actually succeeded in getting this crazy bitch ass Michigan bitch down? I'm watching more and more of her precious lives come down. I'm watching more and more of her platforms fall apart. And if it's you, by God, do I want to congratulate you. And then the person says, because there was a time, I even know this is true, that like the other day, like Brit went live back in the summer, and the Fenty Fairy godmother had called the police to her house. And then it was funny because the next day, when the Fenty Fairy godmother was trashing that police officer, the police officer was actually watching her do that. So that was funny. That was kind of funny. Anyway, and then the Fenty Fairy says, no worries, I saw everything come down and I knew something was off about it. She isn't going to stop till the law makes her. The law makes you. This is your Fenty Fairy friend that you're going to be the Fenty Fairy godmother to, with your Fenty Fairy godfather person that you snuggle with at night, who, like, you know, we all know. We all know what it is. Yeah, right, right. So, and then the Snow White character says, "Oh no, it was being talked about this Reddit, whatever." And then the Fenty Fairy says, "You know, I of all people don't throw accusations like that. Also, I need a hand trying to make sure something gets to someone. I think Fenty Fairy Godmother is trying to hurt. Hmm. So either she lied to me or she's lying to her viewers. She's never shown any signs of ADHD and even asked me what living with it is like." Hmm. And then this Snow White character brings up the fact that the Fenty Fairy Godmother, who I've heard with my own ears, say when the Adderall, you know, whatever, you said it the other night. So this person saying that she is prescribed that she does use that. And then the Fenty Fairy says, "Would it be easier if I called you, or is reading the text okay?" So it's February 15th. Fenty Fairy says, well, can you do me a favor and just make sure I know when it's happening? I don't always find out till it's too late. And then the Snow White character's like, she wasn't sure if she saw her live, if she could send a link, blah, blah, blah. Then Fenty Fairy says, I seen pieces of hers, but didn't know you'd been. So could you please? I saw where she said we're either sharing DOC or like dope, or I think she said it like we're doing the same things, and I just rolled my eyes. Same with her quote unquote proof. You're using this bitch ain't ever seen a real dope bitch. Don't forget she has a belly band, right? She has a belly band. And then, of course, this Snow White character is like, well, she's fucking batshit crazy. So then Fenty Fairy's like, yes, like when she did that test shit to me, she told me over and over the issue I was having meant I was miscarrying and talked me into taking a test that I had to go out and buy, but swore I'm obsessively testing. Or how she says I call her all hours when she's calling me. She is insane. Then the Fenty Fairy says, you're the second person to mention her having Adderall, but only her two younger kids have scripts for that. Also, I also know she has a hella stockpile of low dose benzos for anti-seizure use, and now mixed with the Adderall, I'm wondering if she's hitting up the stockpiles. This is the Fenty Fairy speaking about the Fenty Fairy godmother. Okay? Okay. Okay. Um, okay. So this was March the 3rd. Fenty Fairy says, that gets me too. She tells everyone how she wrote my letter to the judge in my own case and got me off the hook in the federal one. But really, all jokes aside, all that she did with the federal case was prove that he was the one posting about it and my case. I never sent her letter because it was so badly written and it was it was a disaster. I wrote my own every time for Baltimore City. And then this person saying, yeah, she's illiterate, blah, blah, blah. Then the Fenty Fairy says, I think I still have pictures of that letter. I need to dig it up. A charge from 2021 on her, question mark. Okay, so this is something that was on TikTok, I think. Ashley writing comments about her silly baby. Some lady says, oh, mama's boy. I have two boys. They are older now, but are such protectors of me. I'm so happy for you. Stay happy and healthy. You have so much to look forward to. Then she writes, I think he's going to be my mama's boy for sure. The tech even spoke on how easily he reacts to my every little movement and or feeling. Like I saw something cute and sobbed and he froze like he was making sure I was okay before starting moving again. The second he realized that I laid down, he snuggles for sleep, stuff like that. Like, what are you talking about, Ashley? Then she writes, sorry, I didn't mean to post so soon. He keeps me focused every day so far. It's hard, especially when so many symptoms mirror being sick. But I can't imagine him going through that misery at birth. Well, there's no baby. Seriously, there's no baby here. And you're using dope. So what are you talking about? It's so weird. It's bizarre. Here's another one. Let's see. Here's one. No worries there. This is Ashley. No worries there. I had already decided that at least while he's tiny, he will be being shared. I will play the rest by ear. I'm so happy to share this with y'all and have y'all to support me along the way. This is a gift I'm so beyond blessed to share. And the person says, okay, sweetie, only if you want to. Don't let haters pressure you into doing anything. It sounds like you got what you going to do and you got your mindset to it, and it's all there is to it. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, you guys. Okay, sweetie, only if you want to. Don't let haters pressure you into doing anything. It sounds like you got what you going to do and you got your mindset to it, and it's all there is to it. Way to go, girl, and I can't wait to see his beautiful face. One sentence. One sentence. Well, she's not pregnant, sweet panda, so there's nothing will happen. And then she writes, oh no, no one will pressure me into showing my boy. No worries there. I can't wait either. Oh my god, please. She writes, this person writes, boy, you could tell that is a boy, plain as day. Congratulations, honey. I'm so happy for you. Can't wait to see him. I bet he's just as beautiful as his mama. He's probably just as fucking high. She writes, right? And he made sure of it too. Like he kept moving to make sure we saw it at first. No joke, but I swear he's in tune with or can read my every thought because everything she was asking, as soon as I heard it and it registered, he did it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I have my fingers crossed that he looks like his daddy. Then she writes, I can't wait to see him, and I understand if you don't want to put him on here. That is perfectly fine. That is your baby. And you do what you feels right for him. But I'm so happy that I'm still here and I get to see you grow in your belly. I'm so proud of you. You changed your life around, and that's wonderful. Keep up the good work. Man, what do you mean? She's still higher than freaking Jesus. So then she says, oh, wait. No, I already read that. Like, this person is delusional, delusional. And you know what? That's not even all of them, but that's all I have right now. That's all I have right now. No, it was just one fucking sentence. That was all it was. Just one fucking sentence. I kind of like got winded from it, to be honest with you. So yeah. But then for her to turn around and kind of just say off the cuff things like, that she can unalive it at 24 weeks. Like if he doesn't get his, like right here, I have it. I can abort up to 24 weeks. I think what I'm going to do is whenever he's got his head screwed on right. This is her talking about the baby daddy. Like, when was it? March 22nd, around that time in March. She says, I can abort up to 24 weeks. I think what I'm going to do is whenever he's got his head screwed on right, we are going to have a serious talk. He can't either get his shit together and stop treating me like I'm a second rate citizen compared to her, his wife, or he can sign his rights off. I can abort. Because I will tell you what, I'm not effing playing this eggshells shit again. I've been over for over a year. I'm not bringing it back now at this stage. F that. And when I get home, I'm going to make a point to piss in that bitch's curse jar. She wants to F with my life. She can endure what it brings to her. That's his wife. That's his wife. His wife. Wife. Then she says, oh, and did I mention? Remember, she had to take care of those children, right? Oh, and did I mention I have 8-year-old blank and his 4-year-old sister to watch today? So I really can't lose it like I wish I could. I wish I could just cry myself sick. She's like, come on, man. There's no credibility here. There is no credibility here. None. Yeah. Yeah. So, guys, like, I have to get going because I have to get going. But this is just trying to explain to people, right, that the flippy, floppy, weird, negative darkness that these two individuals have, it's very clear as to why they are the way they are. They're very not socialized people properly in life. Hey, Britt, what I feel badly about is certain people's children like never going camping, never going Can you guys hear me? Sorry. Yeah, I froze for a second. So for me, it's just if I can explain to people like the story and see how, the Fenty fairy like talks about the Fenty fairy godmother and the Fenty fairy godfather guy, you know, how is it genuine and how is this actually legitimate? It isn't. It really isn't. So, maybe it's time that they shut off the internet and, focus on themselves a bit harder, because fuck, if they had put as much energy into themselves as they do complete strangers on the internet or their dead fucking family members and their family members, yeah, you need some serious help. You serious fucking help. Like, you don't contact my cousin's son. You don't contact my cousin's parents. Like, what do you want to be part of my fucking family now? I know about Randy's helicopter crash. Really? I didn't know about it. See, people assume that we were close. So let me get this straight. So because I lashed out and I was fucking mad because my cousin OD'd and I was mad at her for doing it, and dying. Yeah. Making a mistake once, and then now what? Like over a year and a half later, you're gonna fucking sit here, Fenty fairy godmother, and try and retell my fucking history? Okay. I guess you want to be a part of my family because you know my aunt and uncle, you know my fucking cousin, you know my cousin's son, you know. I want to hear Fenty fairy godmother, because you record everything. I want to hear the phone call you had with Justin, because you said you spoke to Justin and he actually sent you a text message. So let's hear it. Let's hear Justin on the phone. I'll be waiting for that. Oh, perverted justice. Yes, that is the story that I'm going to be telling my next live tomorrow. And guess what? It's a public forum. It belongs to Perverted Justice's website. I can read it all the fuck I want. Yes, I can. And it's weird because somebody violated their parole. Remember? And someone was like, well, he never did that. Well, yes, he did. Yeah, he did. Yes. All the boxes were checked on her fucking list of men, wasn't it? Pedo, check. Fucking criminal record, check. Check. Fuck's sakes. All right, guys, I'm going to fly because I'm hungry and I got to go get my dada. And, we shall gather very soon. We're going to read the story about, who, and perverted justice. And I'll just create new names, and I'll change my voice for the characters, because one's older than the other one. We know that. Yeah. Well, you know what, guys? Think about this. How did he meet her if he wasn't allowed to have access to the internet outside? Right? He met her inside. You know those pen pal chat thingies? Yeah. She was married. I'm gonna hook up with this guy because I like this guy better. Cockeyed fucking. You know what I mean? Like, how else did you meet this guy? If he wasn't allowed to use the internet, how did you meet him outside a fucking thing? Living in his trailer waiting for him. Don't forget, Fenty fairy godmother, you faked who you were married to when this all blew up in your face when everyone found out who you were with, okay? So everyone knows Phil is Phil and Phil will always be Phil. You can ask him, have you ever been arrested for essaying anybody? He'd say, fuck no. Have you ever sent a picture of your shaft to a minor child? No. I know that 1000%. Could you say the same? I don't fucking think so. So anyway, guys, you have a good night. I'm gonna go and you know what? Listen, Linda. I'll be home. I gotta barbecue some food, but I may kick off when I get home and try another painting. Oh. Okay. I might do that. So, and if I do, I'll put up a notification. All right, guys, have a good evening. Thanks for joining me. See you soon. I love all of you guys. Take care. Be kind. And yeah, Fenty Fairy, you need to get clean. And the Fenty Fairy Godmother, shame on you. Bye, guys.